Well, it's late at night. I've got the camera going, the lights going. I gotta work the next day. Here's my little barrel drink. Let's get to it.
Stay nerdy and get your geek on.
Literally within the 5 seconds of that intro playing, I devoured that. What's up, guys? BC coming back at you guys again, another Transformers video review. And today we are going to be taking a look at the Transformers masterpiece MP-29 Laser Wave, aka Shockwave. First things first, big shout out to my boy Nick Windsor. He came in clutch with a listing of this for $80. I wanted it badly enough, so I got it from him. He's a solid dude. On Instagram, he is Nick's Plastic Shelf. You know what? Here, let me actually live on the video. Let me look it up. So his Instagram handle is Nick's Plastic Shelf. I will put a link to it down in the description below. Check him out. He does great stuff, and he's doing a little hashtag with me on Instagram called the hashtag today's work bot. It's a fun little hashtag. If you guys want to get in on it, you know, you're free to. So, with that said, guys, let's get into this. And we're going to start with the accessories. He comes with two versions of the saluting hand, one in regular plastic, one in clear. He comes with a transparent left hand and a regular plastic right hand. Actually, flip that. Left is regular plastic, right is transparent. A transparent arm cannon, which is honestly my preferred one to use. And the most logical accessory of them all, himself. So, accessory-wise, he was actually kind of light this time. So, let's get into the gimmicks. And quite frankly, he really only has the one. You see, there is a little battery compartment right here in his arm, at least for the robot mode, with a little button that's right here. You press that, and he kind of shoots his arm cannon. I kind of have to admit, this is one of the weaker gimmicks of all the MP figures. It's okay. Size comparison-wise, MP Sideswipe, MP Ratchet, X Transbots peeing. On to the hand feel. In hand, the figure feels relatively light, admittedly. And that is a little disappointing, especially given he is very floppy down here. That and this panel annoys me. You know, he's got the die-cast feet, so that keeps him standing. But I kind of feel like he could have maybe used a little bit more, especially up here in this chestial region, especially since there's really no light going through there. I mean, I guess this had to be the way it is because this houses another gimmick, but we'll get into that for the gun mode. But I mean, just hand feel wise, he's very light. So yeah, let that be as it is. Now let's move on to the articulation, which of course we start from the head down to the feet. Head is on a single ball joint. Gets you basically left to right, up and down, a little bit of a tilt, which doesn't make sense for a character like him. Why would he be tilting his head like this? That would allow him to show emotion, which he should not be showing. And he's got a light pipe die, which is pretty cool. Shoulders are on ratchets, in and out, forward and back. Has the hose, which is basically a spring with a string going through it to look like the hose, but this clearly is going to last far longer. Elbow joint goes about that far up, and he has a bicep swivel right there as well. All the hands have the ball joint within the wrist, but you don't really get much out of it. And if you have the regular fist hands, the hands do open up. Waist swivel, that is extremely limited. And while he does have the ab crunch, watch it as soon as I let go. Springs right back. He can crunch back, or he can arch back just fine. It's the forward crunch that, for whatever reason, it just pops right back. If there is a way to fix this, let me know. Hips go in and out, forward and back, and he does have two things of hips that do allow him to kick, but unfortunately he's blocked by all this going backwards. He's got the thigh swivel as well as a ratcheted knee bend that only goes back that far. I'm stunned at this. Ankle pivot, ratcheted, ankle, whatever the term is at this point. So tilt, pivot, pivot, there we go, pivot, ankle pivot. Yeah. So it's fairly obvious he is extremely limited in articulation, and that is a bummer. Just, it's such a bummer. But we still have one more thing we can do, and that is turn him into a gun. Which we will start that process by taking his head and pushing it in there. By pushing on that plate, and then his head literally just sinks in there. There we go. Come to the back and basically just yank all this and pull this piece out. If you can get it off. There we go. And then just set that to the side. This hole on the bicep, elbow part, I don't know, will peg in here, and then up here the hand and gun will basically fit into this little cavity up here. So bring the arm up, tab it in, close that up, and do the same thing for the other side. Take his body, collapse it down. Take this whole butt assembly, fold it open like this. Take his leg sections, and effectively you're just gonna kind of just open this up. In theory, there we go. The foot was holding it in place. So you're gonna open this up like this. You're gonna take this, and you're basically just gonna fold it up and hide it in there. Spin your thighs around like this first, then bring this whole piece down, and then this is all just gonna kind of fit underneath there like that. So we're gonna do the same thing on the other side to complete this section. Once you've got that done, you come to the back here. You rotate these pieces like this, and then you swing around, collapse them in, bring this down, flip this up, and I think you're supposed to fold these back, I believe, but for the sake of video purposes, I'm just gonna go ahead and flip them forward. Anyways, that thing that we threw to the side, this is actually going to be the gun stand, which literally you just kind of open this back up again, swing it around, and there you go. And there he is in gun mode. this is obviously the mode that matters the most. But of course, I'm going to shoehorn in one final step, mostly because I forgot about it. Slide this panel up, flip down the trigger. If the panel stay up. There we go. Now I'm feeling better about it. So anyways, there is the gun mode, and I love this so much. The purple is just... I feel he needs to be this color purple. That's just me. I will always feel he needs to be this color purple. The hose, again, this is perfect. I love the fact that this is basically never going to break on me. I love the barrel. It's very G1 Shockwave. I love the back section. Everything about this gun mode in general, I love. It is an awesome gun mode. Now, of course, he does have gimmicks in this mode as well. And they're mostly to do with the trigger. There is a switch. I'm not 100% sure where it's at now. I used to be very adept with this. Yeah, right here. Flip it forward, flip it back. This is what's going to trigger a few different things. No sounds, but if you pull the trigger, it's a little purple LED that in this mode, if you continuously press it, he continuously shoots, which is pretty cool. However, one of my favorite things with this toy is if you come back to that same switch and push it up, okay, forward then, you get the pulse effect. This has got to be one of the best LED effects I've ever seen on a toy, especially one that turns into a gun, a laser gun no less. This is cool, and I believe if you hit the trigger, it stops. Nope. So you literally have to flip the switch again to get it to shut off and swap back over to regular pistol firing mode thing. So there we go. That's MP Shockwave in a nutshell. Alright, look, I'm going to be real. I'm just going to turn it back into the robot mode and we're going to get back into the final thoughts. So, back in the GIF. So that people don't get on me about it in the comments section. There you go. Final thoughts wise, starting with the negatives, look. I love MP scale figures. This is no surprise. But not all of them are home runs. And he's proof of this. The articulation is extremely limited. Just the knee bend alone is a disappointment to me. Everything else works relatively well, but just you can kind of tell that this may or may not have been Takara looking at the Quakewave, which is from Fans Toys, and saying, well, maybe we really don't need to do all that much. And I kind of feel like this is a bit of a fail on that part. But, you know, that's take it or leave it at this point. The weight of the figure does not feel like a premium high-end figure. Because the overall look and feel of the figure does not quite, this looks like something that should be more premium and feel like a masterpiece. And that, unfortunately, this does not feel like. It feels like a figure I would buy at Target or Walmart, and that bugs me with this. because one of the major reasons why I swapped to this aesthetic was because I wanted the figures to feel like they mean something. This, while yes, it is a masterpiece figure, he doesn't feel like a masterpiece figure, and that is a huge issue. And then top that off with the admittedly kind of weak arm cannon gimmick in the robot mode. It's, I don't know, man. Also, he's severely lacking in the paint department, but I'm not even going to touch on that subject. But make no mistake, because positives-wise, that light piping in the eye, say what you will, I love it, I can't get enough of it, and I wish more Transformers toys in general would kind of get back to that. There, I said it. The look of the figure is dead on Shockwave. You cannot tell me it's not Shockwave at this point. You just can't do it. The presence this figure has on the shelf is top-notch. And despite his shortcomings, when you have him with a bunch of his other Decepticon brethren, you can tell this is the big boys club. So, unfortunately, if I were to give you guys a bit of a sneak peek into a new grading system, here's the taste of it. I'm giving this the bronze seal. It doesn't quite perform up to the specifications that a masterpiece should, but it does just enough to warrant the masterpiece title. So with that said, guys, this is BC saying stay there and get your geek on. I'll talk to you guys later, and next time I will go into better detail at the beginning of the video of what that tier system actually is. And there's your BC screw up for the day. Night, whatever.